how long that takes. But I think that's a beautiful story.
Well, she was from
Kemmerer, Wyoming.
33rd Ward.
Oh,
And the bishop sent her over. She got to find out right tonight to have a patriarchal blessing. Could you give it to her? I said, send her down. She came down. She was from Kemmerer, Wyoming. And we're sitting talking. And I said to her, well, I said, I'm giving you a patriarchal blessing. Patriarch means father. So I said, this is a blessing from your father. So I don't know who my father is, she said. I never did know. My mother was a prostitute in Kemmerer, Wyoming. She said, all I know is when I was in high school, there was a teacher there that would sometimes pat me on the butt and say, how's my daughter? But she said, I said, well, then I'll give you a blessing for your mother. She said, I haven't talked to my mother for years. I hate that woman. Can you imagine somebody that's going to say her mother was a prostitute and I was born out of a prostitute encounter? And I said, well, so I gave her a blessing. It turned out that she was living in with a guy here in 33rd Ward. He was going to Phoenix, Arizona the next morning to take a new job. And he wanted her to quit her job here and come and go with him down there. And we'd find work down there. And so that's what she wanted to do. So I gave her a patriarchal blessing. And in the blessing, I don't know what I said. But she said, I appreciated that blessing. And she said, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to Arizona with him. I'll find something else, but I'm not going with him. And I said, can I give you a little advice as you leave? I said, you told me you hated your mother. She's your mother. She harbored you in her bosom. And I said, you mean to tell me that you'd hate a woman that was left with and she had a sister with two little girls, a guy that runs off on his own, and what chances are in Kemmerer, Wyoming? Women didn't have jobs in banks and stuff like they have today. I said, can you think that it wasn't a terrific emotional sacrifice for her to make dates with men, to give the only thing she had to give, so that you could have mush on your table? I said, someday the day will come when I hope that you'll call your mother and tell you you love her. She went. Months went by. One night, I was eating supper. My front door bell rang, and here stands this little gal all dressed up. I thought it was a Salt Lake City policeman, blue and white with a blue cap with a white bill on it. And I said, hello, how are you? She said, fine. I said, who are you? She said, don't you know who I am? And I said, no. Well, you gave me a patriarchal blessing. Oh, I said, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you in that uniform. Well, I'm so-and-so from Kemmerer, Wyoming. And I wanted you to know that when I left your place, the next morning I signed up with the U.S. Marines. I've been in boot camp, and I'm just back from boot camp, and lo and behold, they've assigned me to the group here at the Fort Douglas. And she said, so I just wanted to come and tell you thank you very much for that. My life is a complete different life than it would have been if I'd gone to Phoenix, Arizona. And she said, but what I wanted to tell you, I called my mother on the phone. I'm leaving in the morning, take a bus to go to Kemmerer. I called my mother on the phone, and I said to her, Mother, this is so-and-so. I just called to tell you I love you. She said, "You cannot believe. A telephone line cannot hold the feeling that came into my heart when I heard the way my mother wept and said my name over and over again." Gone. You know, you're passing in the night, but if that was written up in the scripture someplace, it would be considered a classic story.
It is a classic story.